1874, he started looking and finding out more and more. And so he's calling himself a magnetic healer, because he really didn't know how to explain how he was pulling and changing things in the body. But as early as 1875, he realized that he was going to do something different. He wasn't going to drug people, but he was going to work with their natural body. And sometimes he'd have somebody like change their diet for 3 months before he'd even treat them physically. And that's where people would complain and say, hey, that old boy came in here and you fixed him and he left the next day. I've been here for 2 months. What's going on, Dr. Still? He goes, well, when you came here, were you sleeping? No. Are you getting some sleep? Yeah. When you came in here, were you gaining weight? No, I was bone and skin and bone. Are you starting to gain some weight back? Yeah. So what are you complaining about? We're getting you to healthy, but some people needed to have the whole system get ready for the treatment. But if you're like my son, he's out chopping, he loves to chop down trees, just like Abraham Lincoln. He just goes out and chops down a tree for his exercise. Well, he has his broad axe and he goes for a tree and he misses. So all that weight and that extension pulls him all the way around, and a rib came out of place. And of course he comes running to me, Dad, I know one technique. It's called the Kirksville Crunch. You cross your arms, I wrap around you, I lift you, I give you a tug. And that's just a little adjustment. It isn't working. I'm telling you, we'll get on the ground and roll. Nothing. Nothing will help. So we go to campus, and a student goes and gives them what we call a Kirksville Crunch. Pop. 5 minutes, it's done. That was like 4 years ago. He's never had another problem with it. So a guy like that, with an injury like that, can be fixed in 15 minutes. But somebody like Florence McGeorge, whose eye's been deteriorating over time, stuff like that, she may need a whole health regimen to get her to the position where her body can accept or actually start making changes. So I do want to know that that's one of the things. People want to know that osteopathy will work the first time. Well, it does on some people, but sometimes you don't know until you get into it a little bit. So Dr. Still in those famous boots of his, and what we discovered on Dr. Still is that he had typhoid fever just after he came up with the idea in 1876. He gets typhoid fever. He's around sick people. He gets sick. He's sick for 8 months. He gets to the point where it's been so tough, and even trying to get his new baby, osteopathy, accepted, it's been so tough. He thinks, you know what? I think I should just die. I'm just tired. And his wife comes to his bedside and says, hey, don't worry. Your 10-year-old son found a job selling paper so he can eat. And Dr. Still's like, shamed. He said, my body was broken. 8 months of not eating, not working, not exercising, and illness and high fevers. But I willed myself, the spirit, to get back to work. Dr. Still would do treatments. He'd first adjust so the blood flow would be good. But then he'd say, now, do you believe you can get better? Because someone with typhoid fever and high fevers can give up. Because you can, fever's not bad for you. It's actually fighting the infection. But if you give up, I worry about you. So really what you guys, when you do treatments, is you have to remember the patient manner. Because Dr. Still would treat the body, then he'd treat the spirit. Talk to the person. Get them excited about them getting better and what things they have to do. And so that's pretty much the first program. We take a little stretching break and get some tea. And then we'll talk about the spirit of Dr. Still, how he believes you're immortal, which I think is a pretty cool topic.